Hello everyone and welcome back to Send It's Weather channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the latest data running through Christmas, into the new year, and past the new year into the first week of January. So we're going to be looking at the main models, as I've just said, the GFS, the GEM and the ECMWF to see what the trends are on Monday the 23rd, from Monday to the 23rd of December for later on in the period. Do enjoy my videos and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And hopefully my videos are improving. Please leave me any comments of criticism. Hope you're enjoying the Christmas at the moment. One of the last times we use it is it's Christmas Eve today. Anyway, so from the outset, we have high pressure centre just to our west, bringing in a typical westerly flow. So it's relatively kind of average. It has been quite cold over the last 2 days. Now for Christmas, obviously it's going to a mild southwesterly, and staying quite mild for a while until about the 29th, when low pressure begins to run in from off the Atlantic and high pressure begins to ridge out in the Atlantic, allowing a colder or cooler northerly to appear, allowing the -5 line to run in from off the Atlantic, and then it brings down colder northerly, northwesterly winds. Then a low pressure system runs into the colder air, may produce transient snow event for a time with the GFS 6Z with some colder air wrapped in, however brings milder air before the colder air wraps back in behind it with a slight ridge in the Atlantic before eventually it goes westerly. Now there is a lot of variation in the models, I have to say, and we're just going to take a look at what each one says. So it's GFS 12Z, the 18Z has only run out to about 10 days, but it's showing a very similar pattern. However, it's showing a low pressure system developing further northwards and is allowing a cold northerly around the 31st, bringing the -10 line into Scotland before a milder incursion once again. There's a ridge builds in the Atlantic with high pressure not as strong in the Atlantic this time, but still allows colder incursions at times with the -5 line returning southwards. So variations, obviously past day 10 it's uncertain, but there's definitely the potential for a colder spell. Now if we have a look at the GM in comparison, very similar for the next few days, then a bit more settled with high pressure at the top, could actually produce an inversion in the south, but all to be decided yet. Keeps the high pressure in way longer and actually keeps the southwesterly flow in, keeping milder air masses in right until the very end of the run, where high pressure begins to slightly, and it's very slightly, ridge in the Atlantic, not very strongly. Low pressure moves towards Scandinavia around the 1st of Jan on New Year's Day, bringing down on the back edge a colder northwesterly wind. But it's not particularly cold. The -5 line is eventually returning, but it is only a transient ridge, so wouldn't be long lasting. The ECM in comparison, however, bit more of an unsettled flow around the 29th, is bringing in lower pressure earlier than the other models, so around the 31st, and actually building in a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland, allowing colder air masses to enter from the north around the 1st of January, bringing down the -5 line a little bit quicker than the GEM, and actually this high pressure is a bit more strengthened in the Atlantic, which would mean lower pressures on a northwest-southeast alignment with the jet stream, probably allows more northwesterly to northerly flows, keeping the -5 line in for longer. So as you can see there's a lot of variation within the models, however some of them are actually going quite cold. If you have a look at the ECM charts, this is the mean sea level pressure for the 30th of December to the 6th of January, and you can see from these charts, the anomalies, there is a strong ridge of high pressure to our northwest towards Greenland and Iceland, indicating a negative NAO. We have low pressure towards Scandinavia, and winds are coming in from a cold northeasterly. Again, very similar with the 500 millibar heights, and the temperature anomalies with this are actually about 1 to 3 degrees below average for many regions with this. And the zonal mean winds at the moment are a little bit stronger than average, actually very strong at the moment than average. They are going to drop around the middle of January, middle to the end of January, as some of these runs are actually bringing in a reversal of zonal winds around the middle of January. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Now, if we have a look at the week 3 anomalies, which is the 6th to the 13th of January, the high pressure actually keeps to our north, which would mean drier, but probably would be still cold with winds in from the northeast. So that still is a cold chart from the ECM in week 3. And with this high pressure ridged in the Atlantic, it again temperature anomalies no better than average. Week 4, the signal seems to be high pressure topples back in over the top of the country, making it milder towards the end of the period. However, it's very interesting to see this. Now, if we have a look at the GFS ensembles, this is the 12Z suite, as you can see here. The thick green line is the ensemble run, so that's the GFS run I just shown you, the midday run. You can see it's oscillating between milder and cooler sectors, but the ensemble mean is dropping below the average, but there is albeit a lot of scatter, with some runs around the middle of the first week of January producing some mild temperatures, and equally some down here produce some very cold temperatures, some down to -10, as you can see here. If we have a look further north to London, it actually does drop below the average, and there are a few runs going down to like -10 line, for example. So the potential is definitely there, and is being slightly strengthened by the GFS ensembles anyway. The ECM, I've only got Birmingham here, and as you can see, it's not strongly supported for Birmingham with a colder incursion. However, there's a few runs later on in the period, so the first week of January, bringing in some colder air, but not as cold as the GFS. The GFS is normally more bullish with its colder ensembles up to the time. So what would I say about this? Well, I'd say that there's definitely potential for a colder incursion in the first week of January. I actually believe it will happen. We just need to have a negative NEO, which is looking likely, a negative AO, which is also looking likely, and we need a block towards Greenland to help us out. Bringing in even a mid-Atlantic ridge, just something to help bring down colder air masses from the north, and I do think this will happen at some point. So we will at least get a cold snap, maybe a prolonged cold spell, but it's also watch out for it, it's all a bit of fun. So if you did enjoy my video, then as always, like and subscribe. That's why I'm clapping my hands. Merry Christmas to you all if this is my last video before Christmas. I've been at Whitby today, so I might have a few photos put on my community post at some point. But yeah, cheers all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next weather video. Bye everyone.